Okay, so my name is Mary Greenwell, and we've just done this wonderful look on Georgina, which is a very soft, natural makeup, okay, using Chanel products. I'm now going to up the ante and make it more for sort of date night and, you know, looking pretty and gorgeous and just when you want to look your best, with a bit more punch to it than it is now. So here we go. We're just going to do that. I took the lipstick off and I'm just going to put on this lip balm, which I love. It's the Hydra Beauty lip balm. I'm just going to put a bit of this on top so then I have time to do her eyes, and meanwhile the mouth will be hydrated. You know, hydration is really important. On top of this very simple makeup, this is just to prove to you also you don't have to take everything off and start again. I'm just going to really go for it. So with the same palette that we used earlier, which is the number Tissé Vendôme, I'm now going to put on a little bit more using probably the same colors. So more of the lovely pale apricot through here under the eyes. Brush it on. This will give the lovely reflection, you can see. This is like the highlight color. I'm going to now move to a color I didn't use in the first video. There's none of this color on here. This beautiful, what color would you call that?
It's a corally sort of color, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a corally kind of color. Using the same brush, just wipe it on a tissue. I'm just going to use this color on the lid because it'll make it really pop. It'll make it more interesting, if you like, and be very pretty with her coloring. Now these shimmer colors are amazing at any age, and they work so beautifully for people who are a little bit older because they sort of just actually make the eye pop. So I'm sweeping it across. Now before, as you all know, I love to use my fingers, but I'm using a little bit more control this time, so I'm going to stay with using a brush. There you are, just blending it in, back and forth, taking it onto the lid and into the socket, blending it out, back and forth in the socket. Georgina has the most amazing sockets. Look how beautiful these are, which means that she could get away with doing things you probably can't do when you get older, which is where I think things like, you know, smoky pencil liner, because of her wonderful lids. Most people over a certain age can't do that because their eyes are just too hooded and it makes them too tired. It actually makes the eyes look tired, more tired. But in Georgina's case, she could get away with it. But I'm not going to do that look today. So you can see it's now getting all sort of, you know, evening and lovely, and it's very summery because remember we're using summer makeup. So again, I'm going to clean the same brush because I love this brush so much. I'm going to move into the taupe color, and I'm going to just literally go back and forth through here, back and forth in the socket of the eye. This is the socket, back and forth. This will make the eye look huge and wonderful. Don't go too deep because we don't want the sockets to look too deep at a certain age. So this is, you know, all the blending is really important at this point. Blend, 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 just keep blending. That is the most important thing with makeup. You have to blend it. Unless, of course, you're doing severe lines like liner, etc. But everything else must be blended. Now I'm going to move on to a liner, which is a soft brown liner. But I'm not going to use this liner, I'm going to use a very soft pencil because it allows me to do this. Just in the roots here, just literally feather it on. Smudge it in with your finger, just smudge it in very gently. Do you see how that's just opened the eye? This is a really pretty colour. It's got a little bit of aubergine in it. Not a brown at all, it's more like an aubergine, which goes beautifully with the coral colour we've used underneath. I'm working incredibly fast, guys. Because one, I think you get bored. I do, I get bored myself. Two, we haven't got much time. Three, it's important for me to show you as much as possible. So if you're looking at this and thinking, God, it's so messy, I can't believe she's a proper makeup artist, know that I'm actually working at the speed I would work on myself. No one wants to spend too long doing makeup these days. It's got to be quick. I'm now going to go for the darkest, which is the kind of the sludgiest brown. I'm going to use this underneath the eye with a tiny, weeny, beautiful little brush, which is called Eye Contour. So this is an appropriate brush. This is a perfect brush for this. And I'm just going to take this underneath, smudge it in a bit with my finger. Just give a bit more shape and definition to the eye underneath. Gently taking it a little bit further along. I think when you get to a certain age, you can't really wear really dark pencil and things around your eyes. It will make you look much older and more tired. So be careful. Keep most of the colour on top when you get older. These rules that I talk about, they can be broken. So if you love to wear black pencil all the way around your eyes at the age of 70, go ahead and do it. But I'm talking about trying to make you look your very, very best. Not make you, help you look your best. And I do think that a softer colour underneath is more becoming when you get older. But individuality is also great in makeup, so do whatever you want to do. So Georgina's eyes are starting to look huge. Now with the same palette, I'm just going to take the same dark brown, and I'm just going to take it on the outside corner and blend the pencil in with the coral eyeshadow, with the darker color, yes, just through here, just so there's no, so it's all blended and soft. Now I've got a little bit more precise. I'm not quite so slapdash as I was before, just because I do want her to look obviously like she has really made some effort. This is after all her, you know, she's going out for the evening and wants to look good. It's a brand new date maybe. This is the building mascara. This is like the volume mascara, and it really is extraordinary. Look, this is the brush, okay. So this brush already says something to you, like build, thicken, volumize, it's great. So this is the way I get to the roots of the lashes. Get right into the roots of the lashes, really lift it. You know, actually it's easier to do mascara on yourself than it is on somebody else. You know exactly the pressure you can use before you start hurting your own eyes. You cannot go wrong with mascara. Don't worry about if it looks slightly clumpy or whatever, really don't worry. It's just such a great product. It will make such a difference. Now hold the wand vertically when you're doing the lower lashes. Remember, you can always clean up with a Q-tip. So back and forth, literally back and forth, and then down, to brush them down. So taking this pencil, I'm just going to start filling in. Now Georgina's brows are quite thin because she plucked them too much when she was young. I had that problem as well. So, but I'm going to be very careful to try and make them look as natural as possible. So I'm just going to feather back and forth. And the last thing I want to make her do is make her look tired out from having heavy brows. So I'm going to be very gentle what I do here, and how I go about this. At the same time, giving her a stronger brow. So I'm feathering back and forth and really getting it onto the skin, as you can tell. Now you can see it's definitely getting stronger. To this side, a little bit more there. Right, now I'm going to brush them with this end. The brush, see what's going on. Now, for the effect of more of a brow, I'm going to take the next pencil up, the next colour up, and put a darker line just through the middle. So it's like, we know where the brows are thicker in the middle. I'm going to give that effect. Taking the next colour up, not trying to create a different shape or thicken it, just make it darker, but not so dark that it becomes heavy. Also, please don't ever bring your brows too close together. It'll make you very hooded looking and grumpy. So there's a wonderful balance with George's face, which is just there, and I'm leaving it there. I'm just going to brush it through. If there is a bit of a softness that's going on, that's fine, because it'll just give the impression of being slightly a thicker brow from the paler colour. Through here you can see a bit of softness. That's from the paler, but I wanted that. That's intentional. Taking a lip liner, because I want her lip to look more kind of full and sexy and gorgeous, which she is anyway, and, you know, date night. So just going to fill in the mouth a little bit to its maximum. There's an amazing line around George's mouth which allows you to actually fill it in perfectly. There, do you see that? That line there? Great. So I'm going to fill it in. Very soft. I'm using a natural lip liner. It's called Natural. It's great. It's just going to fill in the lip with a really natural colour. I reckon that even if you're doing like a dark red lipstick or red lipstick, to fill in with natural first is by far the best tip, because then you can see what line you're working with. You can then go over with a darker lip line, but to start with natural, it's much easier for you. Especially with older mouths, where they're inclined to have little creases, and it's easier to use a natural lip colour. Now, on that theme, I mean, you could use any colour you wanted on the mouth, but because I love the way George's sort of softness is so prevalent, I want to keep her mouth looking very soft too. So using straight from the bullet, I'm using number 4, 5, 8 directly onto the mouth, which is going to basically just give her a sort of extra bounce of colour, but without really changing too much. It's all going to be very soft and beautiful. Look at all these colours working together rather than fighting each other. That's also another interesting tip. I think when you get older, you want colours that work together rather than fight. And when I mean fight, I mean having like a blue eye and a red mouth. Amazing when you're young, but they will be fighting each other. One will want to be stronger than the other. But here we have everything blending and looking so subtle and beautiful and delicious and kissable. Right, rub your lips together, my darling. Do you see how we brought the mouth out, but really naturally, okay? Final thing I'm going to do, tiny bit more powder around her nose. Just here, just going to do that, just there, literally. And up on the forehead, just here, across the top of the brow. And then just on the chin. Please leave the shine on the cheek here. It's great, that natural glow that's coming through there. And I think we're done.